I'm trying to do a thumbnail. This wasn't for you. I've kept you waiting a very long time for this. I don't know why I woke up today and was like, I'm ready. It's ready. Frankly, there's still a lot of stuff I want to do to it, but I also know myself and there will probably always be things I want to do to it, little improvements, whatever else. So I'll just keep you updated as I upgrade and make it even better. If you are new here and you have no idea what I'm talking about, hi, my name is Adri. I own a farm and around 90 animals, most of which are rescued, adopted, rehomed. And I decided to build them their own house. So the property came with the main house, which I reside in, and an additional like guest cottage, which was around 1,100 square feet. However, when I moved in, it was in shambles. The roof had caved in, there was flooding, there was no insulation, no walls. It was gonna take a lot of money to fix it up. So very slowly, over the last few years that I've been living here, I have been putting money into it, and probably a year or so ago, I made the decision to really take my animal rescue efforts to the next level basically, and started pursuing getting my actual official sanctuary license and going through the necessary steps to open a nonprofit and ultimately be able to help even more animals than I personally can by myself out of pocket. When I made that decision, I also decided that I wanted to dedicate that whole building to the animals. I'm really passionate about not keeping my animals in their cages. Basically, the way I look at it is that an animal cage is essentially its bedroom, and you wouldn't want to live in your bedroom solely, exclusively. So they now have their cages as their bedrooms and the rest of the house as their house. So everything from the birds to the reptiles to the rabbit, the guinea pig, everything gets supervised time outside of its enclosure, and I know that it's in a safe environment. I have a lot of cage tours. I do a lot of custom cages, so you can go back and watch that. I have a Meet All My Pets video if you're curious about all of them that I have. It's a little outdated. I need to update it at some point, but it'll give you an idea. Not all of the animals are gonna be in here, of course. A lot of them are in the house with me. A lot of them are out. I have 2 other barns, so they might be in one of the other barns. They also just kind of rotate back and forth. Starting with outside real quick. I have one bird aviary right here. My goal is to get another one for on this side. It's gonna start raining, so let's go in. Do you mind? Stop! Basically, it's just a miniature version of my house, which is really cute. And of course, there's pig stuff everywhere. So you've seen the guinea pig cage, the hamster cage, that's all down here. We got a little heater in the corner. And again, if you want to see tours of any of these enclosures, there are videos for that. That cage along the back wall is empty right now, but I basically got it just so I could take in hamsters if needed. And then the rabbit cage in the corner is my little space. I do come in here and edit and bring my laptop and everything. I try to spend as much time around them as possible, of course. So this used to have a garage door, and I had that taken out. Storage under the stairs. And you can kind of see through above the rabbit cage into the other half of the downstairs. And all of the enclosures I made are just holding up really well. I'm so glad. Okay, so this is the first part of the downstairs. And then this is the other part of the downstairs, which didn't used to look quite like this, but the macaw cage is huge, 8 foot long, 4 foot wide. So it basically takes up this whole space. However, all of those cupboards and drawers and everything are full of my animal supplies. And then the birds, Frankie and Tukey, they spend a lot of their time on this perch actually. Their cage doors are always open. They like to come over here and take baths in their water bowls. And then heading upstairs. So on the left, you have kind of the reptile area, the Tegu cage, which again, you've had a tour of. And then I have two reptile racks, basically, and they are mostly empty. I have a tortoise, bearded dragon, and two snakes right now, but I do have a lot of space to take in, hopefully more snakes that might need a home. The dragon and the tortoise both get time outside of this enclosure, and specifically time outside when the weather is nice, because you just can't replicate natural sunlight for them. And then in the corner there, I have the lychee gecko cages. Right now that's a good size for them. Ultimately, I'd like to get bigger ones. And then in the windows, we have birds in every window. So the two umbrella cockatoos, which are the only birds that have to remain in their cages when I'm not in here, because they are quite destructive and mischievous. So for their own safety, they do have to stay in their cages, but they get hours outside of them. And then the Caïque parrot and the African gray parrot are all up here. And I've got several stands and playthings for them. I'm hoping to get a different couch for up here. I feel like it's just takes up that whole half the room. On either side of the stairs right now, I have more storage, but I'm finding I don't really need it since there's so much downstairs. I try to rotate the birds in the windows too. That way every bird gets plenty of time in the sunlight, in addition to being taken outside and taken into the main house. There's always a bird somewhere. I really hope to have a lot more enrichment stuff for the birds in this area at some point. Across the way is the current glider cage, and then the rat cage, and then of course the ferret cage. Again, there's a tour of that. It's another cage that I'm very pleased with how it has held up, how much they utilize all of the space, the tunnels and everything. They're constantly running all around it. I feel like this is just kind of the perfect amount of animals for this area. It doesn't feel too crowded. There's still a lot of room. Everybody gets a large enclosure, gets plenty of space to move around outside their enclosures. There's still a lot of things that I would love to do here. I'm working on putting together all kinds of ropes and swings and hanging crazy things that I can put all over the ceiling, both up here and downstairs with the macaws. Currently, my next custom enclosure that I'm working on is for the gliders. I would like to do something more floor to ceiling, and with just a lot more space for them to be able to get out and be active whenever they want versus just the time that I give them outside of their cage. I would like to get different flooring for downstairs. I'd like to construct another aviary outside. I'd like to get a second Critter Nation to make the rat's cage twice as big. I want to get new lights because they're terrible. All in all, it's come together basically exactly how I wanted it to. I did not do this all on my own. I had help from a lot of people over the last year. It would have been a significantly more expensive project if I didn't have people that loved me and loved my animals who were willing to work on it. So thankfully they were willing to give me a hand. The animals appreciate it, I appreciate it. And all of you just encouraging me and supporting me and keeping me motivated with this whole project. It's been revealed, all of that suspense and build up. That was it. I like it. Most importantly, the animals like it. They have their own space. I wouldn't put it past me to give them this space, quite frankly, if I felt like it wasn't adequate in any way, shape, or form. but my animals are really thriving, and so that's what matters most. Thank you all for bearing with me. Thank you for loving my animals and supporting this channel. This channel is mostly animal related at this point, but just kind of silly, uplifting, sharing the animals I have here. And like I kind of unofficially announced earlier, I am hoping to get my official nonprofit sanctuary license up and running this year, and of course I will take you along with me for that whole experience and getting everything set up. If you are not already, please subscribe, follow, like, all that stuff that I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber.